Which is better, investing in multifamily or single family? My name's Chris Collins. I've invested in both. I think you can actually win doing either, so let's just go over the basics so you know what you're talking about. First of all, when you buy a single family, it's typically one unit, typically a house with one resident that lives there. When you buy a multifamily, it's 2 units and more. It could be an apartment complex, duplex, triplex, or quad. Let's look at the lending. For 1, 2, 3, and 4 units, single up to a quad, it's going to fall under residential mortgages. And the bank is going to look at your debt to income ratio and your credit score and your ability as a borrower. Now, when you get to 5 units and above, it's going to fall into commercial mortgages or commercial lending. And there, banks are typically looking at the property more as a business. Can the income and expenses allow enough profit to pay the mortgage? It's called debt to income ratio. Lenders for commercial properties look at the key principles involved in the deal and their financial strength, their net worth, and their net liquidity. Are they able to help pay the loan when the property goes through hard times? Let's look at operating the property. When you buy a single family property, you're going to have a property manager that you have to hire, and that's going to be one of many properties that they're managing across the whole city. You're going to typically pay anywhere from 8 to 10% of income to the property management company, and they'll have a property manager assigned to your unit. Multifamily, when they're large enough, can support full-time property management on site. That means a dedicated property manager on site with a leasing office, and you're going to pay them anywhere from 3 to 5% of income of rents, and as well as a payroll, a salary. Now let's look at the valuation or the pricing. A single family home, as you might know, is priced based on the comps of recently sold houses in the area. Well, a commercial multifamily property is based on your net operating income, which is your income minus your expenses. You divide that by a cap rate in the area, and that's going to give you a valuation of the property. So if you can increase your NOI, you can actually increase the valuation of your property. It's called forced appreciation. Now let's look at economies of scale. When you buy a single family house, it's one loan for one house. You have one roof for one house. You have one set of due diligence to inspect that property. But when you have a multifamily property, you can get one loan that covers, say, 200 units. You can get one inspection that covers all 200 units. You can have fewer roofs that cover many units in each building. You can have one set of finances for 200 units that you give to your CPA to do your accounting at the end of the year. So instead of buying 200 individual houses with 200 individual loans, you get one 200 unit property with one loan on it. And finally, let's look at barriers to entry. When you buy a single family unit, your barrier to entry is really your capital. How much money can you afford to put as a down payment, and what can that afford you? Well, with multifamily, your barrier to entry is also your capital, but in a different way. When we buy large multifamily properties like these, investors come together and pool their money to buy these properties. So it might be a $20 million property, but no individual person is coming out of pocket $5 million or $7 million. It's lots of investors with smaller amounts that come together. So like I said before, both single family and multifamily can be great investment strategies, but these are the basics so you understand some of the differences. I could go on and on and on about all the very specific eccentricities and all the little differences, but these are the basics. If you ever want to talk about investing, you can go to my website, amitycashflow.com. We talk about multifamily investing, syndication, where groups of passive investors and active owners come together to buy properties. But I'm also happy to talk about your specific situation and see what's best for you. My name's Chris Collins. Talk to you more tomorrow about investing in apartments.